Hey YouTube, this is Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and we've got your Week 11 start and sit video for the running back position. We are talking 4 or 5 games away before the playoffs start, so again, every game is probably huge implications for your fantasy standings and where you are and what possibly may become for your upcoming season. So with that said, hopefully you guys have checked out our waiver wire video and you got players you were able to get. If you guys are still doing trades, hit us up in the comments down below. We'd love to help you out with that. And we're going to talk some running backs. Now, these are your obvious running backs you should be starting realistically because there's no reason not to, right? They've got good matchups or they're getting plenty of touches. These guys are your obvious starts. Now, remember, there are 4 teams on a bye. You've got the Patriots, Colts, Saints, and Falcons. So of those players, you're missing obviously Kamara, Jonathan Taylor, Stevenson, Bijan. Like there's some really good running backs that are not playing this week. And of course, running backs dealing with injuries. So this is very important. Hopefully these running backs that I'm mentioning as some good starts in the sleeper could help you out with this season. Now, first running back I'm going to mention, Breece Hall. He should be in your lineup. No questions asked. They're going against the Bills who, unfortunately, man, are they just devastated with injuries. Like that defense is playing with practice squad players. They just lost too many players to have any type of good defense. I think right now they're average. I think they're 16th in the league. So they're about average, right? Like that's where they're at. Breece Hall played in the first game of the season, and that was his first game after the injury, and he still put up 15 points, even with very light load, right? Like he wasn't getting a lot of touches. So playing against the Bills team that's allowing 17.9 points a game, like this is another good matchup for Breece Hall to really be fed a lot of touches, have the opportunity, because if the Jets are going to pull off the upset, which I think they can, the way this Bills team is playing, they're going to have to force feed Breece Hall. They're going to have to give him touches and give him opportunities to succeed, to really help out Zach Wilson and this offense. So I like Breece Hall a lot this week. Another running back I like is going to be Devin Singletary versus the Cardinals. Now, Devin Singletary, he was definitely one of my players I mentioned in my waiver wire video, so hopefully you guys were able to get him. Going against a Cardinals team that is very, very bad, right? Singletary has had a great game last week, really as the RB1. I know he played the other week, but that was a tough matchup, so I'm kind of ignoring that one. So for him, with Dameon Pierce still not practicing, this is Singletary's backfield. And who knows, with Pierce coming back, Singletary may still end up taking over this backfield anyways, with the way his performance has always really has been here. Cardinals are allowing just under 2 touchdowns a game to running backs. And on top of that, they're allowing 21.2 points in fantasy. Like that's a huge amount of points for a running back. And if Stroud's going to beat Kyler Murray, they're going to use Devin Singletary. They're going to use him in the receiving game. This is a really good matchup. I expect him in that 15 to 18 point range. He could possibly even squeak out into the 20 point range, but I really like this matchup for him. Now, last running back, Jerome Ford versus the Steelers. Ford's first game really to go off the season was against the Steelers when Nick Chubb went down. In that game, he had over 100 yards. He had a receiving touchdown. And he finished with 22 fantasy points. Great matchup here. Steelers have struggled. They're not great against the run. They're allowing 16.8 points to running backs. And with Deshaun Watson being out for the season and they're playing the rookie, this is going to be a game that they're going to have to rely on Jerome Ford with a little bit of Kareem Hunt sprinkled in, because Kareem Hunt is still there. He is being utilized. But realistically, it's going to be Jerome Ford's backfield. He is going to be someone that has to be given a lot of opportunities to have some success for really the Browns to have any chance of winning this game, especially in this really tough divisional AFC North matchup. That division is bonkers right now. They're playing amazing. Overall, all teams are doing well. So if the Browns have any chance of winning, that defense has to play well. And of course, Jerome Ford has to get touches. Now, first running back I'm going to sit this week is going to be Rachaad White versus the 49ers. I get if you're going to play a White. He has been amazing the past few weeks. Like he has played out of his mind as far as fantasy goes. So if you're going to play him, I get it. But my expectations for him is a very low-end RB2 role or a flex play if you have to. I don't like this matchup against the 49ers. The 49ers just shut down the second best fantasy back in Travis Etienne last week, holding him to 6 points a game, or 6 points that game. Overall, 49ers are only allowing 62 yards on the ground and 12.6 points. So the matchup's really tough. I do expect similar, right? Like 12 to 13 points for Rachaad White. Like again, very low end RB2, possible flex play. That's where I have White. If you have other options, I would look to replace him. Now, the other running back I'm going to sit is Isaiah Pacheco versus the 49ers. man, I don't like, the Eagles. I don't like this matchup for him because the Eagles are amazing. Like this is going to be a really good Monday night game between two powerhouses, between the Chiefs and the Eagles. And obviously I'm rooting for the Chiefs, as you know, as a Cowboy fan. So this is definitely something that I'm looking forward to. With that said, you got to give flowers to the Eagles. Like, that run defense is amazing. They're holding running backs to 10.8 points a game. 53 yards on the ground. They've only given up 2 touchdowns all season. This is a really tough matchup for Pacheco. This is going to be a tough matchup for the Chiefs in general. I think that the Eagles actually end up pulling this victory off. I hate to say it, but I think this is a game that the Eagles do get the win. I think Jalen Hurts and that receiving core makes a huge difference. And of course, Swift, I think he's going to play a big one. But I do have some hesitation with Pacheco. If you're going to have to sit him this week. Look for some other options if you possibly can. Now, the last running back I'm going to sit, it's going to be Jaylen Warren versus the Browns. Jaylen Warren is essentially the starting running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's getting a lot more opportunities every single week, and he's done a really good job with those opportunities. Najee Harris has had some signs, like he's done okay, but really, Jaylen Warren's the running back at this point. But this is not a great matchup for him against the Browns. Browns are a really good defense. And the last outing, Warren was held to 12 points. I know he didn't get as many touches, and I think that will help. But Browns have a really good run defense. Like, that's not a team that you want to have, Jaylen Warren really show up. I think they're going to have to use both running backs to have any type of success. But I expect Warren to be kind of held around that 12-point range. Now, my sleeper of the week is Keontae Mitchell. Mitchell has a good matchup against the Bengals. Bengals are allowing a lot of explosive plays. This could be the Thursday night game. Finally, a really good Thursday night game, which is going to be awesome to see. I expect him as a nice little RB2 with upside. Flex play if you can, even though I hate playing Thursday night game players on flex. But if you have to, I get it. Bengals are allowing 92 yards on the ground, 15.6 points to the running back. So again, matchup's really good. I do expect Gus Edwards to have some success. Gus Edwards is the running back, but Mitchell, again, explosive. They're talking about giving him more opportunities because of the way he's been able to handle himself. Especially last week, he was explosive, even though, again, didn't get a lot of touches. I do expect an increase there and having a good game. So I like him as my sleeper of the week. If you guys have any questions for your lineups, hit us in the comments down below. All right, that's your week 11 starting sit video for these running backs. If you guys have any trade questions as well, again, hit us down in the comments. Make sure you guys check out our other start videos. Make sure you're smashing that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the like button as well, and I'll check you guys out next time.